Welcome back to the Organized Opulence podcast. I'm Cheryl Palmer, registered nurse, certified health leader, and the founder of Cheryl On Lux. Today, we are going to be talking about something almost every high achieving woman feels and almost nobody names correctly. It's called the 3 p.m. crash. Maybe you know the feeling. You wake up sharp, you handle the morning like a professional, emails, meetings, decisions, all of it, no problem. Then somewhere around mid-afternoon, something shifts. You snap at your kid over something tiny. You cannot decide what to make for dinner. You reread the same email 3 times and still can't answer it. So you put it on snooze or whatever you do, pause or forward it or something. If that sounds familiar, I want you to hear this clearly. You're not lazy in the afternoon, you are depleted. There is a name for what is happening to you. It's called decision fatigue. In this episode, I'll walk you through exactly what that is, why it hits high achievers the hardest, and what you can actually do about it. This conversation pairs with a week-long blog article, this week's blog article, Decision Fatigue is Real. So you can find it on CherylOnLux.com at the blog if you want to read along, or you can come back to it later. All right, now let's get into the meat and potatoes. What decision fatigue actually is. Here is the simple version. Your brain treats every choice like a small withdrawal from the same account. So just imagine your bank account is your brain. It doesn't matter if the choice is with which shirt to wear, or whether to leave your job, or whatever your decision is to do that moment. Your brain does not sort decisions by importance, it just counts them. So every choice pulls from the same pool of mental energy. The font you pick for a slide, that's a decision. The way you respond to a text, that's a decision. Whether you take the call from someone who you want to talk to, or you take a call from a client who's always long-winded, none of these decisions feel heavy on their own. But by the time you have made hundreds of them, your account runs low. And when the account runs low, your judgment runs low, right along with it. This is why you can stay completely calm during an actual crisis at 9 in the morning and then fall apart over a dinner decision at 6 o'clock at night. It's not the dinner decision that is harder than the crisis. It's that you have nothing left in your account, in your brain, by the time dinner rolls around. I want to say this part slowly because it really matters. Decision fatigue is not a character flaw. Again, decision fatigue is not a character flaw. It is not a sign that you're weak or scattered or bad at managing your time. Let me repeat it again. Decision fatigue is not a character flaw. It is not a sign you are weak or scattered or bad at managing your time. It is a measurable, well-documented cost of running a complicated life. Researchers have studied this in uh, judges and surgeons, in shoppers standing in the grocery store aisles. The pattern holds up everywhere. The more decisions a person makes, the worse their later decisions get. You're not the exception to that pattern. You are actually living proof of it. Why do the high achievers feel this the hardest? Here's the part that I think gets missed the most. The more responsibility you carry, the more decisions you make before lunch is even on the table. If you lead a team, you're making decisions about people. If you run a household, you're making decisions about 100 small logistics nobody else sees. If you work in healthcare, like I did for over 30 years, you're making decisions where stakes are someone's safety. Leaders, caregivers, women building their own businesses do not get a lighter decision load because they are already busy. It works the opposite way. You get a heavier decision load, and a lot of the time, the stakes attached to each one are high stakes. I think about the nurses I worked with for decades. The sharpest, the most capable ones I knew were razor focused in the morning and running on fumes by mid-afternoon. Not because they were weak, because they had already spent their decision account on dozens of choices most people never even notice. I think about the business owners I work with now, the ones running a six-figure brand out of their kitchen table, making product decisions, pricing decisions, hiring decisions, all before their first cup of coffee is even cold. If you end most days feeling foggy, irritable, strangely unable to pick up something as simple as a restaurant, or pick something as simple as a restaurant, please hear me on this one. You are not failing. You are simply out of decisions for that day. Your brain ran out of fuel, and it is asking you to refill the tank, not punish it for running on empty. Here is the three-part fix. So, what do you do about this? I want to give you a real plan today, not just an explanation. There are three things that protect your decision account, and you can start using all three tomorrow. The first is to automate the small stuff. The same breakfast most days, a simple outfit rotation. Like, for example, I work in healthcare, you're going to wear scrubs, you're going to put on the same scrubs every day, so that doesn't take you a lot of time to figure it out. Eat the same thing for breakfast, a bagel with coffee every single day, so you don't have to spend time figuring out what you're going to eat. Every decision you remove from your day through automation is a decision you get to spend somewhere else that actually matters. I do this myself. I do not decide what I'm eating for breakfast. I decided that once a long time ago, and I have not had to think about it since. That is one less withdrawal from my account every single morning. The second is to make your hardest choices early. Your judgment is strongest before noon. While your account is still full, if you have a big decision on your plate, a negotiation, a hard conversation, a strategic call, schedule it for the morning whenever you possibly can. Do not save your hardest thinking for 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That is exactly when you have the least to work with. So for all you late risers, this is a really good advice. The third thing is to build in a real stopping point. Decide in advance what time you stop deciding for the day. Once you hit that time, everything waits until tomorrow. This one sounds small, but it is one that protects your evenings. Without the stopping point, your brain keeps spending from that account that is already empty. So it gets into the negative. And then that is exactly how you end up snapping at the people you love the most over something that doesn't even matter. So here's your action for this week. Here's what I want you to do this week. And it is a small action on purpose. Tonight, look at tomorrow's calendar. Find one decision on that calendar you can remove completely. Not delay, remove. Maybe it's deciding what you're wearing tonight instead of tomorrow morning. Maybe that is picking the same lunch you had last Tuesday instead of starting from scratch. Maybe that is telling someone yes or no tonight instead of carrying that decision with you into tomorrow. That one removal protects part of your account before the day even starts. Once you feel what that does for you, you will want to find the second one, and then a third, and then a fourth, and then a fifth. If you want a deeper starting point, the free 7 Pillars of Peace checklist walks you through exactly where your energy is leaking across all the 7 areas of your life, not just decisions. You will find a link in the show notes and in my bio. Read the full companion article on the blog, Decision Fatigue is Real, at CherylOnLux.com. It covers everything we talked about today, plus a few extra examples that I did not make it into this episode. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope this episode was valuable to you. If this episode names something that you have been feeling or you couldn't quite explain, do me a favor. Send it to a friend who needs the words for it too. Sometimes the most generous thing you can do for someone is hand them language for what they're already going through. Remember, you're not lazy in the afternoon. You're depleted. Now you know exactly why and exactly what to do about it. I will see you next week. If today's episode helped, grab the 7 Pillars of Peace checklist again. The link is right in my bio. You can also follow me on Instagram, Cheryl On Lux. Also on TikTok, Cheryl On Lux. Facebook, Cheryl On Lux. And I'll see you in the next episode or